Good morning. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Hello. I'm audible, guys. Hello. I'm audible, guys, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good morning. So we shall start now. Okay, guys. So now let's start. So so like all of you have attended yesterday, or somebody of you is attending the first time today? Is Akash, Bhagat?
I'm already attended the study.
Okay. What about you, Akash and Bhagat?
Yeah, I'm new here.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, so let's start with this. So, okay. Azure Databricks. Okay, Azure Databricks. Basically, the Azure Databricks is nothing but this is a service. Azure Databricks is a service, guys. All of you, Azure Databricks is a service which is used to perform. Okay, guys, Azure Databricks is a service, so it's not a service; it's a cloud service. We can say it's a cloud service. Okay, so Azure Databricks is a cloud service which is provided in order to perform the job of data summarization, where the data summarization is performed by using the process called what? ETL. What is it? ETL. Which stands for what? Yes, guys, what is it? ETL stands for? It stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. So ETL. So now here the Azure Databricks in broad we can say that is provided in order to perform the job of ETL. That is nothing but called as what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. So now see extraction. I'm writing it extraction. Extraction. Then we have transformation. And then we have the loading. Yeah. Pardon me? Yeah.
6:30 we have a class until
I'm not able to get you. Can you just be louder?
Yeah, we have a class from 7 to like the morning, like until 15 days, March 15th.
I didn't get you.
No, I'm saying. So we have the class from morning 7 to 8 until March 15th.
Okay.
So how it will be managed?
We have the class in the morning in the sense. I didn't get you.
We have morning 7 to 8 o'clock. One more batch I'm attending other skill set.
Okay.
Completing on March 15th.
Yeah.
But your class is also like it will merge right to that same time. So,
In the morning, you mean to say my batch you're talking about, or you have another class?
your batch will also start in the same time, right? Morning.
My batch actually it's starting in the morning 6:30. So you have another batch, or you want to say my batch? How I will be managing that?
Yes, yes. I have another batch. So,
Okay, you have you are joining some other batch also. Okay,
yes, yes, in other skills.
okay. So morning it will be 6:30 with the timings will be 6:30 to 8 actually.
30 to 8.
Mm. After that you're talking about the ADF now.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
6:30 to 8 it will be. That is a standard time we for ADF.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, see, we have it here. Okay. So extraction, transformation, and loading. So we have what is it? Azure Databricks. So Azure Databricks is what? This is a service basically. Azure Databricks is a service which is provided. Okay, it is a service. That means it's a cloud-based service which is provided in order to perform the job of data summarization. And data summarization will be done by using the process called what? ETL. That is nothing but stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay. Whereas the extraction, transformation, and loading, as you know that it is used to perform the data summarization, where this ETL requires the following. What is that? The ETL requires the following. What is that? It requires, guys, all of you, it requires, okay, one is the source, another one is the target. One is the source, another one is the target. One is the source and another one is what? Target, all of you. Source and the target. Whereas between the source and the target, okay, whereas between the source and the target, we apply this ETL. What is it? ETL. That is nothing but it stands for what, guys? Extraction, transformation, and loading. So the extraction, transformation, and loading, it is applied between the source and the target. It is applied between the source and the target. It is applied between the source and the target. Okay, guys? Hello? It is applied between the source and the target. ETL. So now, guys, what is source? Let's come back, all of you. Tell me now, what is source? Hello? I'm audible? Source is nothing but actually source of data. Source of data. Source of data. Source is nothing but what is that you have it? Source of data. Source is nothing but what? It is the source of data. Okay, source is nothing but what? It is the source of data. Source of data. Whereas, what is my source of data? Okay, so guys, we have source of income. What is my source of income? Source of income is nothing but from where we get the money, isn't it? In the same way, source of data is nothing but a place from where we get the data. That is called as what? Source of data. And we can have the following source of data. That is nothing but, can you see here? I'm just writing it here. The source of data is here. What is it? The following are the source of data. The following are the source of data. The following are the source of data. What is that? The first one we have it as what? Yes, guys. The first one we have it as what? Files. We can get the data from the files. So what type of files we can have? We can have JSON files. We can have, what is that? Yes, tell me now. JSON files. Then we have, what is that? JSON files and then CSV files. and Excel files. Okay, CSV file, JSON file, Excel file. Then we have what is that? JSON file, CSV file, Excel file, and then we have what is that? We have the yes, guys, Parquet files. Okay, Avro files, ORC files. These are all the various type of files we can have it. Okay, guys, everyone. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the various type of files. So we can have the files. So we can say that we can get the data from the all these files. We can get the data from what is it? All these files. We can get the data from what? All these files. Next, after this, again, guys, again, what is that you have it? We have that data, what is that? We can also get the data from the databases. We can also get the data from what is that? Databases. We can also get the data from what is that? Databases. We can also get the data from what is that? Databases. So what is databases? Databases are those where actually the data is recorded. Databases are those where actually the data is recorded. So we can say that the databases are those where actually the data is recorded. So we can say the data is recorded in the database in the form of what is that? Rows and columns. That is in the form of a table. That is in the form of what is that? Table. The table is nothing but what? Rows and columns. Tables is nothing but what? Rows and columns. Getting my point, everyone? The data is nothing but in the form of what? Rows and columns. That is in the form of rows and columns. Now, here, the database means what? It can be the Oracle database. It can be the SQL Server database. It can be the Informix database. It can be the Teradata. It can be the Teradata database, etc. These are the various databases we can have it. Apart from these databases, guys, we can also get the data. Nowadays, we can also get the data from what's it? Live streaming data. We can also get the data from what's that? Live streaming. We can also get the data from what's that? Live streaming. Okay. We also get the data from what's that? Live streaming. So live streaming is nothing but what? So guys, the cricket match, the score of the cricket match, it is reported in the live. Am I right or not? In the same way, you have stock market data is there. So it is reported how? Yes, stock market data. It changes every day. It changes every hour, every minute it changes. In the same way, this is called as what? It is called as what, guys? Live streaming data. The data which constantly changes. The data which constantly changes is called as what? Live streaming data. It is called as what? Live streaming data. Getting my point, guys? Live streaming data. So hence it is called as what? Live streaming data. So we can get the data either from the files, from the databases, or live streaming data. So what we do is we get this data ultimately into this. What is that? Into what is that? Yes, what is that you have it? We get the data from these sources of data into what is that? Azure. And once the data is extracted into the Azure, then we use the ADB, that is called as what? Azure Databricks, and perform the job of ETL. And finally, once the data is finally done, it is loaded into the target or the destination. That's it. It is loaded into the destination. What's that? It's loaded into the destination. It is loaded into the destination. It is loaded into what is that? Destination. Okay, guys. So now we have what is that? All of you. The data is loaded into what? Destination. So now, all of you, we have what is that? Yes, guys. So now let us see what are the, can you see here? Sources of data we already know. So we have it. These are all the sources. Apart from this, we can also get the data from various sources. Now, guys, let us see what is a, all of you, what is a big data? So what do you mean by big data? Tell me now. Big data is nothing but what? Yes, guys, big data is nothing but what? Huge data. That is called as what? Massive amount of data. Big means what? Huge. Data means what? Information. Am I right? Big means what? Huge. Information means data means what? Information. So we can say huge information. We can say massive amount of information. We can say what's it? Huge information or massive amount of information is called as what? Big data. Whereas big data, we get this big data, ultimately from what? From the business. Ultimately, we get the data from what? From the business. And what is the business? We can say we can get the data from the business. From various type of business, we get the data. There is a huge data. So that means what is that? We can say we can get the data from what is that? I'll take a simple example of social networking sites. Social networking sites. Social networking sites. Or else it can be the human generated data. It can be the social networking sites, human generated data. Then we can have what is that? Machine generated data, etc. Okay. So all this is nothing but we get the data from the business. So we get the from what? Social networking sites are one business. Human generated data, that is this data is generated by human beings. So this is also one type of business we can say. Machine generated data. Machine generated data means what? We can say one of the source of the getting big data. So what do you mean? Can you see here? What do you mean by human generated data? See, we type the data, isn't it? We type the data. That is called as what? Human generated data. Machine generated data means what? The data which is generated by the machine, such as you have a CT scan machine is there, and you have yes, X-ray machine is there, and you have the ECG machines. This is all what? It generates the data or not. So hence, that is called as what? Machine generated data. The next one after this machine generated data. What is the next thing we have it? Yes, guys, tell me now. Human generated data, machine generated data. Then we have what is that? Okay. That is nothing but we get the data from the IoT sensors, which you call it as a sensors data. Okay. IoT sensor. These are the various sources of getting the big data. These are the various sources of getting what's that big data. The IoT sensors are nothing but these will measure what is that? The temperature, the gas, the pressure, all these things, sensors. This measures all. Okay. And whereas these, can you see here, these sites or whatever the sources of data, these can you see here are connected here. The data will be generated into files. And this can be towards an Excel file. Likewise. And from here, ultimately, the data now will be pulled in here. Getting my point? That means actually, whatever the data we have it, can see here, whatever the data we have it, can see here, you can say like this, isn't it or not? See, guys, all of you. See, human generated data. Can see here, you have what's that? Machine generated data is there. And then you have what's that? IoT sensors. Where these are the, can you see here? What are all the things we have it? So all this, can you see here? This is how exactly the data looks like. Getting my point, all of you? Yes, guys. See, these are all the data we have it. So now we can say that what's that? The data which is generated by the social networking sites may be recorded in some of the files, and data generated by human beings will be recorded into the databases, and machine generated data is there. Likewise, you have what is that? Various, okay, that is nothing but we can say live streaming data, etc., whatever the thing. So ultimately, we can say that this all are called as what? Big data. That is called as what? Massive amount of huge data is called as big data. Getting my point, all of you? Yes, all of you clear or not, guys? Yes? Hello? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes. Got it.
Okay, so now next one after this. Okay, so let us see what are the Azure storages. Let us discuss now, or else. Okay, before that, let us see. You have, okay. Now, guys, let us see here, all of you. Types of data. Types of data. So we can have what's the types of data. Now tell me what are the types of data we have it. Can you see here? Types of data. Types of data, basically we have three types of data. One is called as what? Structured data. The second one is called as what? Semi-structured data. Unstructured data. We have the three data. So what's that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So these are the three types of data. So we can say what? The big data is basically classified into three categories. Can you see it? What is that? You have all, this is called as what? Big data only, guys. This is called as big data. Big data. So big data generates the data in what's that? Can you see it? Big data is here. Big data generates the data from what? Social networking sites. And ultimately, this data, whatever the data is recorded from the social networking sites, will be recorded in the files. And generally, you have the social networking sites data will be there into the HTML or XML files, etc., etc. Okay. Then you have human generated data. Human generated data is what? Human generated data is what? Mostly the human generated data is in the proper form, that is in the form of rows and columns. So here you have a human generated data in the form of a databases, and that can be in the form of Oracle database, SQL Server database, Informix database, Teradata database, etc. And then you have the machine generated data, guys, everyone. Machine generated data, and this machine generated data, it can be what? The machine generated data is what? So the data is generated by the machinery automatically. Okay, that is called as what? Even we can say the live streaming data. Live streaming data means what? Continuous data. Okay, you will receive the data continuously. That is called as what? Live streaming data. So this data, whatever we have it, it can be divided into three categories. What is that? Structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and unstructured. So guys, what do you mean by structured? Structured is nothing but where the data is recorded in the proper form of a table. Where the data is recorded in the proper form of what is that? Table. That is table in the form of what is that? Yes, guys, tell me now. Table in the form of what is that? Rows and columns. Rows and columns. Rows and columns. The data is recorded in the form of what? Rows and columns. The data will be recorded in the form of what? Rows and columns. The data will be recorded in the form of what? Rows and columns. That is called as what? Structured data. That is called as what? Structured data. The data is recorded in the form of what? Rows and columns. That is called as what? Structured data. That's it. And next one after this, guys. The data is recorded in the form of what? Rows and columns. Now, guys, semi-structured. What do you mean semi-structured? The data which is recorded in the form of a JSON file, or in the form of an XML file, or in the form of a HTML file. Guys, what is JSON? What is HTML? Suppose, so before that, I will show you example of a structured data first of all. You already know anyways, but still I wanted to tell you for your clarity, okay? So guys, here you have what is it? Name, ID, salary, and job. These are the things you have it. Name, ID, salary, and job. Getting my point, everyone? Name, ID, salary, and job. So now I'm using the name as the alien. ID is the, what is it? You have it, something like this. Salary is something 3000 something. Job is the clerk. That's it. Now, guys, in the same way, I have Bobby as a second row. Are you following, guys? 4000.
Yes.
Senior. Yeah, senior clerk. That's it. Now, guys, the same data, it is in the structured format. That is the form of proper rows and columns. If I want it in the semi-structure form, how to make it? Can you tell me? So now the data in the semi-structured form is recorded in the JSON file. It is recorded in which form here? JSON form. It is recorded in the JSON. So how the data will be recorded in JSON? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation File. JSON stands for what? JavaScript Object Notation File. JSON stands for what? JavaScript Object Notation File. Okay, guys. JavaScript Object Notation File. JavaScript Object Notation File is called as what's it? JSON. JavaScript Object Notation File is called as what? JSON. Okay. So now let us see it here, guys, everyone. So JavaScript Object Notation. So here you have it. Okay. Here you have it. Let us see it here. JavaScript Object Notation. So now let us see here. We have it. The JSON file. Java. I'm writing it. Java script object notation file. That should call as what? JSON file. The data will be recorded in the form of a key value pair. JSON. And the data will be recorded in which form here? The data will be recorded in the key value pair. Okay, key value pair. So guys, I'll explain you now what is a key value pair. Okay, can you see here? What is a key? Always the keys are called as a columns. So now tell me, what is the key here? First one, the data will be recorded in the key value pair and in the curly braces. This is the opening brace and this is the closing brace. Concentrate, all of you. This is a very important file which we require it when you work tomorrow. So this is the opening brace and this is the closing brace. This is the opening curly brace and this is the closing curly brace. Getting my point? This is called as an opening curly brace and this is called as a closing curly brace. Getting my point? Opening curly brace and closing curly brace. That's it. Now here in this, I have it here. The key. So key is what is it? Name is the key. Okay. This is called as the key, guys. Key is nothing but what? Name. So after that name, so whenever you have a key, writing the key, it should be given in the double quotes. All of you make sure. Key should be in always double quotes, then colon. What is the value for the key? Tell me now. Alien. No? So the alien will be recorded here in even the quotes because you have the character value. Use it, comma. Can you see here? This is called as a key and this is called as a value. So hence together called as what? Key value. No? So hence together called as what? Key value pair. Am I right, everyone? It is called as what? Key value pair. The same way here you have it. Guys, the same way you have, here you have it. What is it you have it? Tell me now. ID. ID. So again, the ID is the second one. And now what is the value you have it? 23 is the value. Sorry. Nothing because it will not be placed under the quotes and thing like that. Comma. Again, you have what's it? Can you see? Salary. Again, the salary is what? 3,000, comma. Again, you have what, sir? Tell me now. Job. And now job is what? Senior clerk. Whenever you have character data, guys, it will be placed under the quotes here. Quotes that you have it? Senior clerk. Or we can say job is a clerk. And now finally, can you see here? Guys, comma. And now the brace is closed. There will be no comma here. The brace is closed here. That's it. Now, can you see here, all of you guys? This is called as a JSON file where the data is recorded in the key value pair. And this is called as a semi-structured data. Getting my point? It is called as what? Semi-structured data. It is called as what? Semi-structured data. It is called as what? Semi-structured data. Okay, guys, everyone. Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
So this is how, yeah, this is called as what? Semi-structured data. So anyways, the unstructured data is what? The unstructured data is nothing but which does not have any structure. That we call it as what? The chat history, videos, photos, all this. Whereas across the globe, we get what is that? Unstructured data. We get it only, what's that? Unstructured data. Whatever the unstructured data you have it, 80% of the data you get it as unstructured only. Getting my point? 80% of the data across the globe, you get it as what? Unstructured, 80% of the data. And whereas the rest of the 20%, whatever we have it, the rest of the 20%, you will get it here. The rest of the 20% data, you will get it in this. What is that? 20%. Out of the rest of the 20% only, you will get this. What is that? Out of this 20% only, you will get this semi-structured and structured data. That's it. Okay. So this is how we are going to work here. So all of you clear? Okay, guys. So that's it for the day. And okay, so we'll meet again tomorrow at the same time, 11 o'clock, and we'll continue. And for this week, we will have it at 11 o'clock. And from the next week, we'll just shift it to the 10 o'clock. Okay, guys, everyone? Okay, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I'm just ending the class. Thank you.